In today's news, Bangkok gears up for endemic phase of COVID. The government shrugs off rumors of getting toppled, and Pattaya Walking Street is back in business. That's all coming up in today's program.
Could you please take a moment to click the like and subscribe button? It helps us way more than you know.
Sawadee krap, you're watching Thailand News Today, bringing you the latest top stories in Thailand and beyond. My name is Jet Gunther, and in our first very good story, authorities in Bangkok are preparing to shift their COVID strategy to an endemic phase as the Thai Public Health Ministry acknowledges a steep drop in infections and deaths. According to a Nation Thailand report, Kiatipum Wongjarit from the Health Ministry says the vaccine rollout, coupled with home isolation programs and outpatient schemes, has contributed to the significant improvement in the capital's COVID situation. Before Songkran, doomsday predictions claimed that daily cases of COVID would exceed 100,000 infections, but back on planet Earth, daily numbers actually headed into the opposite direction and have been under 10,000 for 3 days now. Daily deaths are also trending swiftly downwards. Nearly all Bangkok residents have now received 2 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine, with around 60% of residents having had at least 1 booster dose. Yetipum says this high vaccination rate means the capital is ready to manage COVID as an endemic illness. Nation Thailand reports that the Health Ministry is now working with various Bangkok agencies on a gradual easing of COVID-19 restrictions. During the move to endemic, the focus will remain on managing high-risk areas such as pubs, bars, public transport, and public parks, with Kiatipum expressing the hope that the shift will be smooth. And here's the comment many have been waiting for. Dr. Panrudi Mano Maipibun from the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration says the mask mandate may soon be lifted in some public spaces, and entertainment venues may be allowed to reopen if they follow strict disease prevention measures. The Thai Prime Minister says he expects 20 million tourists to visit the kingdom next year, around half the number of pre-pandemic years. Prime Minister Prayut says this prediction still relies on the COVID-19 situation not deteriorating. According to a Bangkok Post report, the Prime Minister has acknowledged that tourism numbers have increased significantly since the easing of some restrictions. However, significant is still well below 10% of the tourist numbers arriving during 2019. Although the PM says there has been a slight slowdown in economic growth, a rise in exports as a result of a weaker baht added to the increase in tourist numbers and is reason to be hopeful. The PM also referred to a plan to impose a 300 baht tourism fee, but says that this so-called tourist tax plan is yet to be implemented and will require more discussion about collection and distribution of the new revenue stream. According to Prayut, economic growth is looking more promising than it did in the last quarter of 2021. However, Russia's war in Ukraine, coupled with the lingering pandemic, could still hamper recovery. As a result, the government is lowering its forecast for its 2022 GDP from 4% to 3.5%. In 2021, the Thai economy expanded by 1.6%, recovering from a 6.2% contraction in 2020. In addition, Prayut says the government plans to introduce measures to combat high oil prices. Staying on the Thai Prime Minister, Prayut has dismissed allegations that MPs are being bribed to topple the government in a forthcoming no-confidence debate. The claims were made on Facebook by former Deputy PM Trairong Suwankiri, who says a spider has tipped him off that between 5 and 30 million baht has been offered to MPs from smaller coalition parties in an attempt to persuade them to topple the current administration. According to the Bangkok Post, a group of 16 MPs from smaller parties have previously said they will vote in favor of anything that is in the country's best interests, even if that is in opposition to the government. Cholanansi Gal, the leader of the main opposition party Pheu Thai, says his party plans to table a no-confidence motion against the PM and his administration, with a debate likely to take place in late June or early July. Meanwhile, government ministers have joined the Prime Minister in downplaying the allegations of bribery and vote buying. Public Health Minister and leader of the Phum Jai Thai Coalition Party, Anutin Chanvirakul, has dismissed the claims and says that coalition parties support the government to carry on working smoothly.
Choose your trip to your favorite island with 5-Star Marine. Go to 5starmarinephuket.com.
Business owners and staff along Pattaya's much endeared walking street are ready to welcome visitors after waiting for over 2 years. Pattaya police have paid a visit to the street in a media stunt to declare that the street is now ready and safe for visitors to return. They've been setting up checkpoints and urging security guards in bars and shops to monitor, quote, inappropriate incidents and immediately report them to the police. The Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration canceled the Test and Go and Sandbox programs and relaxed measures and conditions to enter Thailand, which started on May the 1st. No COVID-19 tests or quarantine are now required for vaccinated travelers. Unvaccinated or under-vaccinated travelers may also now enter Thailand, but they require a negative PCR test taken within 72 hours before their travel. Also, the official alcohol curfew is now extended to midnight from the former limit of 11 p.m. Thai media reported that different businesses on Pattaya Walking Street are now dusting off the bars and preparing to welcome more tourists after being ordered to close 2 years ago. Among them, one business owner told Thai media that she had reorganized her shop according to the COVID prevention measures, opening as a so-called restaurant that can serve alcohol. Tables were now arranged at a safe distance, and ATK tests would be offered at the door. She said she was eagerly awaiting the arrival of tourists again and restarting her business. Last Sunday, the head of the local tourist police, together with other authorities, visited the popular walking street to invite the media and report that the famous Pattaya Street was again ready for visitors. The Royal Thai Police says it will delete the criminal records of anyone who has been cleared of earlier criminal offenses. Assistant Chief Surachet Hakpan says this will remove the need for people to formally request that their records be deleted. Currently, even when a case has been closed and a person cleared, investigation records remain on file in the Criminal Records Division. They are only deleted when the individual in question asks for this to be done. According to Surachet, the Royal Thai Police will now adopt a new policy of doing so automatically. And the Bangkok Post reports that many state agencies and private sector firms will conduct background checks on potential employees, including checks for criminal records. So if any investigation records remain on file, even after a person has been cleared, this could unfairly hinder their chances of being offered employment. According to information from the Royal Thai Police database on April the 28th, the investigation records of 12.4 million people remain on file. Of these, the cases against 7.8 million have been concluded either by prosecutors or by the court system. Authorities will now begin to sort through the 7.8 million cases, identifying those whose cases have been dropped or where proceedings were stopped on orders of the prosecution, as well as those whose cases were dismissed by a court or who were found not guilty, with no appeal filed. And that is all for today's report from Thailand News Today. Until next time, you're not up to date on the Thaiger.